Jesus, I love you. Oh my. And you are welcome in. You're welcome in this place. I'm lost without you. Can't do nothing without you. Oh no. And you are welcome in. You're welcome in this place. My heart says yes. My heart says yes to your will, to your way. And you are welcome in.
Memorable Moments. I am your host, Tracy Everette, and William is back.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm your co-host, William Craig III.
We missed you.
I missed being here.
Okay, now, Jamila did a pretty good job, but I tell you, William's the co-host.
Well, I'll let you say that.
Well, we have a fantastic program
Indeed.
tonight. And we're going to be introducing someone who is a motivational speaker
Special
in
guy.
the Washington, D.C., Maryland area. And he's somebody that you want to put on your ticket going forward.
Indeed.
But, you know, William,
Yes.
holiday seasons are coming up.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
It's upon us.
Yeah, yes, it is. And I mean, I think we have a fantastic program for the month of December.
Oh, man. Talking about the transition into a new year.
Yes.
We are going to jumpstart you, leapfrog you, however you want to say it.
I
But we're
know
going to
that's
help
right.
you get there.
I know that's right. So you don't want to miss the first segment with Dwayne Ross or the second segment with our social health co-host, William Craig III, because they're going to be ushering in 2015 for you in their segments.
That's right.
But before we get started, there's an artist that I want to introduce you to, and I've known him, since 2003. He's performed all over the countries, and he is a local artist here, and his name is Anthony Tony Walker. And I saw his video on YouTube, and I just had to play it for the day because you talk about smooth jazz gospel.
Oh, really?
He's the one that brings it.
All right.
I purchased a CD from him back in 2003, and that thing was so smooth, and my friends heard it. They just had to have this thing. So I was buying CDs off of him. I didn't bootleg.
What
them.
a testament.
I bought the CDs off of him.
Yeah, I heard you.
So I want to introduce to you right now, just for about 3 minutes, because he's going to be appearing in the local area in the upcoming weeks, and I want to make sure you have that information.
Great.
This is Tony Walker, and he's doing a rendition of Shackles Off Your Feet by Mary Mary.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Enjoy this
Great.
video.
Enjoy. It's going to be the top one.
Walker
Sweet.
live. Oh my gosh.
Sweet.
You have got to get his CDs.
Yes,
you have
indeed.
got to see him in person.
Don't
As a
know how
matter
I
of
missed it.
fact, yeah, he's going to be in, I think, Loudon Bible Church.
Oh, okay.
And
Ashburn.
Ashburn, Virginia. Yes, he's going to be appearing there in a jazzy celebration on December the 19th. That's on a Friday, so
Yeah.
you don't want to miss
Okay.
him. Go to loudonbiblechurch.com and inquire about that
All
concert. You got to see Tony
Will
live.
do,
He's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
But we
thank
have a
you.
guest in the studio.
Yes, we do.
I tell you, I've been tweeting him. I've been Facebooking him.
All right.
I've been putting him out there on LinkedIn.
All right.
And as a matter of fact, I did not know him until he reached out to me a few days ago.
How about that?
And when I looked at his website and saw all that he's doing, and he
Yes.
matches what we do
Perfectly.
in the
Perfectly.
community, yeah, I had to have him on this program. So I want to introduce you in our social health segment to Dwayne Ross. He is an author and he is a speaker, and you can get his book at Amazon.com titled No More Crumbs from the Table. I can't wait to hear from this. So please join me in welcoming Dwayne Ross. Welcome.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. This is like an awesome opportunity. I really appreciate it because when I reached out to you, I wasn't sure exactly how we would move forward, but in my heart, I already knew we would move forward.
Yes.
Because there was a deep desire for me to meet people who have my answer.
Oh.
See, I've been taught to get away from people who have your problems and find people that have your answer.
Okay.
And one
Sounds like a tweet to me.
Yeah, that's at Dr. Mike, but Spirit of Faith Christian Center. But what I was taught is that you cannot continue to stay with the people that are around you if you plan to move forward, unless
right.
those people are going the same place
That's
that you want
right.
to go.
That's right.
So recently, I've just had a number of different things, but the whole idea of No More Crumbs from the Table comes from the fact that I'm a human service trainer. I train human service agencies throughout the whole state. At that time, it was California, but also in different places with at-risk populations. And one of the things that really struck me in the Bible was when Jesus was coming to a particular place, and this woman that was from a different tribe came up to Jesus and said, "My daughter is vexed. I need your help," or what have you. And he said, "I'm not here sent for you."
Right.
And then she stopped him in his tracks when she said, "Well, Master, even the dogs
Oh, yes.
get the crumbs off the table." But right after that, it said Jesus answered her not a word.
That's right.
That was the first time that I saw that Jesus didn't have an answer. He was the answer, but he didn't have an answer. She was her answer. Because he said, "Daughter, be it unto you."
Yes, right.
So it was what was inside of her that drew the power from him so she can get what she wanted. So many people are waiting for something to happen.
Are you waiting for something to happen?
And they're waiting for the boss to move so they can get that spot, or they're waiting for that big promotion to come, or I don't know what it is, but they're waiting. When God said, "Behold, I give you everything that pertains to life and godliness."
That's right.
And if you've been given everything that pertains to it, that means you have all the tools.
That's
now,
right.
of course, it's on the inside of you, so I'm here to stir it up.
All right.
Okay.
The Bible also says to stir up that gift.
Timothy.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
That's
Paul's
in
message
you.
to Timothy. Yes.
Now, one of the things that happen while I'm doing these at-risk populations, I'm working with people who are incarcerated, long-term unemployment, vets that are coming back from overseas who couldn't find a job, moms who've been on second, third, fourth generation welfare. And in all my classes, everyone kept saying, "Well, where's your book?" And I had already inquired of God about the topic because I knew that people needed to use three things: their gift, their talent, and their ability. And then they need to reach out to other people who will
right.
use their influence
Right.
Yes.
and their ability on their behalf.
Right.
Yes.
So we're right in line with that.
Well, you know what, Dwayne, everything that you're saying is lining up with just about all the programs that we
Everything
have
that-
been producing.
that's correct.
And even this
That's correct.
week, what you are talking about is what you're going to be speaking
Yes,
about in the second segment.
I thought you looked at some of my notes. There,
See, it's a divine, it's
Yes,
a
it
divine
is.
a commitment right here. This is one of those moments where in the book The Alchemist, right? Paulo Pueblo, I don't say his name right, but Pablo Pueblo Coelho, he says, you got to know the language of the world. I know it's the voice of God.
Yes. That's
Therefore, it's Holy Spirit.
Yes.
That's
And
right.
the Holy Spirit, he said he would bring you into all knowledge and truth. So this is a divine moment
Right.
for
It
me,
is.
meeting you,
Right.
Now for us working together,
That's right.
and then on behalf of God's hands of whatever He's going to do in the earth.
That's right.
Because He's not coming back to earth to do a bunch of stuff. He's already put
sent us.
Himself
That's right.
in us.
In us.
We are the
That's it.
ambassadors.
And we're the ambassadors. So it's just awesome. So in talking about the book, one of the things I have in the book is a quote that says, when the mind is stretched by one idea, it will never return. It will never be the same again.
Right.
Most people, again, they're waiting for this and waiting for that. And what I do in the book, I teach them, I take them through a process. First of all, I use my own life because that's the best experience I have. I can talk to you about being a young man who didn't have a father. My father, I didn't meet him till I was 32 years old.
Wow.
And I met him. It was my sister who worked for the Social Security Administration, and she was on her way out, so she broke one of the rules.
One of those last day deals.
Like, I'm going to get this in real quick. I'm going to see if I can find him. And she searched in there and whatever she did, and I got this phone call, and there was this voice on the phone, and it was like this guy. He's like,
Wow.
and I don't even know all of what happened in that moment, but I was just struck. And he said, "This is your dad."
Wow.
Wow.
Now, my mom, she raised us until I was 8 years old because what happened to her, she died early. So it was me, my brother, and my sister living with my grandfather. Now, my grandfather was over 70 years old. He was turning 70. And back in 1975, 73, when that happened, the state would take you from your grandparents and put you in foster care.
Really?
So they had already made this declaration to the family. If we don't get a family member to make a decision on all three of you kids, we're going to have to take some of y'all and put them in different places. Well, time went on, you know, and that's what happens, right? Something happens, time goes on, then something happens. Again, at Dr. Mike. But
Okay.
my grandfather reached out to his children and said, the last thing my mom said is don't let them break my children up.
Right.
My sister was already living with my aunt, but me and my brother weren't. So in the interim, we went into foster care
Okay.
with a teacher who worked at my grandfather's school who happened to be a pastor at the time.
Oh,
Now, this is
Jesus.
this is one of those things.
If it gotta happen.
There was a whole bunch of brothers, right, that didn't take on my grandfather's legacy. But here it is now kind of coming to
Yes.
pass in my life, his grandson, second generation
That's right.
down.
Yes.
Because none of my uncles followed in the footsteps of my grandfather. Well, long story short, this lady, she used hot water on my brother, put him in hot water tub. To teach us our multiplication table, she put our hand out and say, okay, 2 + 2, 5 × 6, 7. If you get it wrong, you got swatted.
Right.
And then she had this thing about, like, she would ask you a question, and if you told her the truth, but not the way she wanted to hear it, then she would hit you. So I had played hooky from school. I play hooky, right? So it's all in the book. But I use those moments because, see, people think that since they've been through something, they have an excuse.
Right.
Excuses are like there's an old adage that says excuses are the nails that build the house of failure. Because people will use, well, my dad wasn't there. Well, my dad wasn't there.
Right.
Okay? Now, my brother, who's been in the state penitentiary back and forth, he took that route.
Okay.
He has an excuse for everything. My mom wasn't there, my mom died, everybody left, blah, blah, blah. He could fill the blank with everything that we've both been through.
Right.
You know, he blames a lot of stuff on society. And I told him, you know what? I'm going to work on behalf of you in society until you get your mind right.
Okay.
So I went into the jail systems and started talking to them about employment and how can you get yourself prepared before you get out.
Right.
Because if you go back to
Right.
that same environment,
That's correct.
you're going to run into
That's
some
right.
challenges, right?
correct.
Yes.
So the goal is to help people get smart about what they're trying to do in their lives. The other thing is we supposed to stir people up, and then they get this thing in the canvas of their imagination. They have this idea, but they don't know how to get the idea to manifestation.
Right.
How to get it off the top of your head or out of your heart onto paper so you can start putting some pieces in, and that's where I come in. I can help the congregation, the group, the whatever it is, the group, really kind of get that off your head and get it on paper, and then let's get a action plan
Right.
to make it
Correct.
come to pass.
That's
Correct.
right.
All right. So, and I don't know if you're gonna ask me some questions because I'm waiting for some questions.
You're doing great.
Yeah, everything that you seriously, everything that you're talking about,
It's
William
just
and
amazing.
I and a couple of other of our supporters for MentorMe Memorable Moments took programs into Salvation Army
Awesome.
almost 20 years ago, and we were feeding
Right.
the clients along that same line. So we've been walking
Right.
this, and it's so nice to know that you are on the path, and we all hooked up
Right.
together.
Yeah, I'm currently working in workforce development,
Are you?
serving the same population.
That's
so.
awesome.
Talk about a divine appointment.
That is awesome.
It couldn't have happened any better.
So has anyone come to you and say, "Oh man, you have saved my
this is
life"?
something that I tell this story all the time because I was getting gas at a gas station, and this guy, he walks up to me, and at first I was kind of like, he kind of looked familiar. I don't know. Yeah, how can I help you? You know, and I get my little stance together because I'm like, I don't know what bro get what he say. And he says, man, I was in your orientation, man. I was in that class. You know that class over at the workforce place? And I said, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
How you been?
And then he started this conversation about how I had empowered people to think about what they really love to do versus what somebody told them to do. And he liked painting. And long story short, he was able to put a process together to start painting in a school. And he was painting on in the evenings. So someone showed him how to start his own business.
Wow.
And now he had his own business as in painting. And so I just knew I was watering the plant. I don't
I
know.
love it. I do. I
That's
love
it.
You know,
it.
I'm just gonna water. I
Some
don't
plant,
know.
some water,
Yeah, and
but God
gives
gives
the
the
increase, right? So that's what I was doing, and I've had these moments. Different people. Someone just recently was publishing their book, and they published their book as a result of listening to me tell you don't have to wait for all this stuff that
That's
people tell you to
right.
do to publish a book. I said, write it down, get it out your head, get it out your heart, get it on paper, and let's go find a place to get it.
That's
and
right.
KDP, you guys know about Kindle Publishing Direct, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
I've heard
can
of it.
publish your book in 24 to 48 hours.
Oh,
As long as you have all that other stuff together, of course, you got to get somebody to edit it and set it up right.
Right.
But you can put it online
wow.
and sell it.
Right.
And now you have a product.
That's right.
So now you're participating in what I'd like to talk about a little bit is the cash flow quadrant. Because
Okay.
Go for it.
that's something that kind of hit me one day. And recently, I had went through a divorce and was just like, okay, I'm going to go back to work, and I'm not going to keep rushing after trying to get contracts and things of this nature. And I was sitting just talking to my wife now, and God perked on my heart. He said, go listen to this. And I listened to a message by Jesse Duplantis.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I like
And
it.
Dr. Jesse said, look at the fragments. The fragments of things that you've started and didn't finish,
Yes.
or things you had success in, but you never seen it as successful as you thought it was going to be.
Right.
Because see, I started it. I took my whole retirement. I started the business, and I went bankrupt.
Okay.
Okay.
I lost my business. I went bankrupt. I was homeless. And it was in 2000.
Jesus.
My sister, I called her. It was 2004. And I called my sister, and she said, well, what are you doing? Where are you? And I was getting ready to get tucked behind this one spot because I had already lost my apartment, moved into my office, lost my office, moved into my car, still trying to get what I knew I could
Right.
get.
Right.
And so you say to yourself, is this me?
Right.
Right. Of
Or
course.
is this God?
Is it
Right.
God?
Mhm.
Yes.
Because why is this
Right.
happening to me?
Yes.
Right.
So I lost it all. And I thought that meant that was not what I'm supposed to do. Until recently, when God woke me up about an idea that I had years and years ago, and it led me back to this book. And that fragment was this. It's a catalyst to move people to the next level.
And
Yes.
you had to be broken
Yes.
so that you could be made power form, so that the anointing will go out of you, and not you, but the anointing of God would go out of you and touch the masses that are out there.
I
They
receive
need
that.
they need to get that book. They need to hear your story.
The story, because everybody has a story.
Everyone has a
Everybody
story.
has a
And
story.
people have so powerful stories that will help the drug addict put
That's
down the bottle,
right.
the drug, the sex addicts stop having
That's
sex with
right.
any and everybody. Because some people are not going to open the Bible.
And some people aren't going to go to church.
And they're not going to go to church. And the Bible tells us that we're supposed to be
That's right. The
living
walking epistles.
Right.
Yes.
written by God for
That's
men.
right.
And so many of us forget that we are examples. We are the Christ. We are the body.
That's
we are
right.
Christ. Christ is in us.
Right.
And why do we take it for granted to treat you disrespectfully or look at you the wrong way or not pay you when you're supposed to be paid or not show up on time and all these different things that we do to make an excuse.
Right.
And so anyway, my sister said, come home
Yes.
All right.
and just start over.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
So then I heard T.D. Jakes.
All right now.
And he said, broken, but not destroyed.
Yes.
And that message allowed me to get back to my root. Greater is he that is in me
Yes.
than he that is in the world.
Right.
The world has nothing for me anymore.
That's right.
Because I learned something about God. He loved me no matter what. He loved me through my mess, and then he gave me a message.
That's right.
So I'm running with this right now. When somebody calls, somebody send a text message, some say email, some send a tweet. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Where are we going? What are we doing? Where are we going? What?
Right.
Now I know that every single thing is not God. I understand that.
Right.
But God's people are everywhere.
Right.
So I may not even be empowering you with that message, but it definitely moves
That's
him.
right.
So I still have to show up.
And you know what? Some people think, because I know you are a motivational speaker and I can hear that, and you're an encourager. And some people think that if they don't have the crowds, then the message isn't valued or
Oh,
it's not
my
worth it, or
goodness.
I don't want to spend my time there.
That's
But
so.
you never know who is in
That's
that
right.
crowd
That's right.
that will be able to reach the masses. You
Exactly.
gotta
Peter
deliver
was
it.
in that crowd,
Right.
right? Paul was in
That's
that
right.
crowd.
That's
And
right.
the rest of the whole Bible is written by him.
Yes, it is.
Right.
That was just one person's experience.
Talk about
Right.
broken.
Well, Paul wasn't even there.
No, not at, and his was based on the message he heard.
Exactly.
Right?
And the
After
experience, the
after the
Damascus Road
situation, because
experience,
you know,
yeah.
God came to him.
Right.
Why are you persecuting me?
Right.
That's
but
right.
it was
It was
after the
secondhand.
fact.
Right. Exactly.
He had to take that whole message and go,
Right.
I think it's true. All right, we're rolling on this one. So that's what we do. We help people dispute things that they think is stopping them. People put up barriers because they have barriers in their mind, barriers mama and daddy told them. And I tell them, you know, some people the closest to you would be the ones that hurt you the most.
That's right.
That's right.
But there are also some of the people that will help encourage you the most. You know, and so if you have a situation, you have a challenge, you're trying to challenge your change, then you might need to dispute that change. Because then it will happen. So the first thing you want to do is look at your belief system.
Right.
That's correct.
Okay, what are you saying about what it is? So what's your argument? It's the ABCs of change. What's your argument?
Right.
Then what's your belief? Because once you get your argument on the table and out in the open, now you can go back and forth.
Right.
That's right.
I don't want to go back to school because I'm too old. I don't want to go do this because I don't do this. If I go to that, I'm gonna be broke. And you know, you start saying wah 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 like Charlie Brown. Right? We on the right page. I don't know the right. I'm right there with Charlie Brown, right? And then you get people like Peppermint Patty who say, "Oh, come on, Chuck, we can do
That's
that."
right.
That's right.
Because you're gonna have your least, you're gonna have your other people, right? So it's helping them dispute it and then get their belief system. See, you can't do nothing without a belief.
That's right.
You can't not do nothing without a belief
That's
as well.
right. That's
So
right.
I'm not gonna do this because I believe
That's
that.
correct.
That's
Your belief
right.
actually determines the
Determines
action.
your action, right? Because you can't take the action or the appropriate actions
Right.
when you have a belief that doesn't support it.
That's
I couldn't
right.
even sit in these chairs. We couldn't sit here. We wouldn't even be talking to these microphones. We didn't really believe they were working.
That's right.
Right? Because people would tell us that we crazy if we did.
Yes.
Like, what's wrong with you? Well, we have to believe it, right? Then another thing is now you can challenge your change and then you start taking actions, appropriate actions. And to take actions, you got to have smart goals. I teach people that, hey,
Oh,
you got to
Lord,
go
we've
right
been
into
talking
Stephen
about
Covey's
this.
pocket. You got to drop up with Dennis Waitley. You got to hear what Les
Yes,
Brown has got to
yes.
say. You got to hear what Lolita Davidovich, all of these people
That's
got
right.
to say.
That's
And then
right.
you take that goal. The best example I ever heard was a SMART goal. It has to be specific.
Yes.
You can't just let it just be something. Has to be, I'm gonna lose weight. No, that's nothing.
Right.
10 pounds. Okay, now we
That's
getting
specific.
somewhere.
Yes.
Right.
it's specific, right? It's measurable.
Measurable.
Has some kind of something that you can quantify and know, because you quantify it.
10 pounds later.
That's
You know,
right.
you
That's
did something.
right.
2
Yes.
pounds.
Right.
We got
On
more
our
work
way.
to do. We lose a little negative pounds. You better put down that chocolate. No, don't put down the chocolate. Put down the no more coffee.
but the chocolate.
You gotta get out of chocolate. So you like, and then and so then you got your action, right? So then it has to be something that you do. You have to be actively involved with it.
Right.
Then it has to be realistic to you.
Right.
People get so hung up on realistic because they think it's not real for them. It has to be real for you. If you think that you can fly a plane, fly a plane.
Flying plane, yeah.
Now you might be flying an AC plane. You might be playing a
Right.
2-prop plane.
Right.
But you could fly.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Right? And I never take anything from people when they say they want to do a certain thing. Because I also know a story about a young man who kept saying he wanted to be a pilot. I want to be a pilot. I want to be a pilot. Now, he had an intellectual disability. Now, I work with people with disabilities.
Okay.
And I never take nothing from them. I say, okay, let's see how close we can get.
Right. Okay.
Now, I already know the FAA is not going to let him fly a plane.
Right.
But can we get him to the airport?
Yes.
And let him work at the airport.
Yes.
The man been working there for over 20-something years because they got him in the
Wow.
at the airport, and all he really wanted to do at LAX is to see the
the
planes
plane.
take off
Yes.
and land.
That's beautiful.
Well, how many parents would say, that's crazy, that's dumb, you can't do that?
Right.
And sometimes, again, people closest to you will try to steal your dream,
Right.
take your dream, or dampen your
That's right.
ideas. All right. One idea can change the world, right? Because it was up until only, I don't know what it was, 1200 or something, where somebody thought the world was flat.
Right.
Then somebody said, "No, I think it ain't flat. Maybe we ought to try. Keep on rolling." And they was like, "No, we're gonna fall off. We're gonna fall off." And they never fell off.
How about that?
But they ran into some people. They were like, "Hey, what's going on? They got corn over here.
Yes.
These people got trees and stuff. What's happening?" Right. So the world changed, and now everybody went to that. Right. There once was a time where they said nobody could run a 4-minute mile.
Correct.
So Mr. Banneker, he ran 4-minute
That's
mile under
right.
4 minutes.
That's right.
Then everybody started running under 4
all of
minutes.
a sudden.
That's
How about
right.
How did
Yes.
that get happen? How did
Yes.
that? Oh my gosh, are faster people now? So anyway, and then timely. You got to have a goal set where you say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna happen
Right.
by this time. And some people get caught in that too. They say, well, I tried it, and I said it was gonna happen in June, and it didn't happen in June. All I tell them is retool,
Exactly.
retool and set another date,
You
but
know
don't
what?
give up.
Tweet that. Tweet that. Retool,
Retool
and set another date.
Because they don't. They give up. They abandon ship. And see, here's one thing about something that burns on the inside of you. You can't abandon it.
That's right.
Right.
It won't let you.
It won't let you
That's
let
right.
it go.
That's
I don't
right.
care if you're doing it like you put 20 years in between.
Right.
I might have started this when I was 21 years old, 16, 12. I met Farrah Gray. I don't know if you know Farrah Gray, young
Oh, yes.
millionaire. He was doing a book tour called Willionaire at Hampton University down in Hampton,
Virginia.
Virginia, right? And I had an opportunity to meet him. He was 19 at the time. He tells the story of how he was messing around in the kitchen doing different stuff, and he come up with this idea for some syrup. Now, this is a little kid in the kitchen messing around where somebody would have came in there and said, boy, get out the kitchen.
Right.
That's right.
Put that stuff away. What's you messing with my stuff for? But his grandmother and people didn't do that. They was like, okay, let that happen.
Okay.
Well, what's the long story short? Walmart buys the concoction, puts it on the shelf. Overnight, almost seemed like overnight, by
Right.
14 years old, he signed the paper. 15 years old, he's a millionaire.
He's a
about that?
millionaire.
So
And it can happen.
it can happen.
Yes, it can.
Tell another story. Young boy in California. His dad owns a auto shop, and I can't think of his name right this second. But anyway, long story short, here's what he does. He gives them boxes to play with. He starts playing with the boxes, and he says, "I think I'll make a carnival out of these boxes." Well, a guy came in to get a part for his car, but he was a filmmaker. So he asked the dad, "Can I film your son's little carnival?" "Sure, no problem." He put it on YouTube. Overnight success. Well, over 1 million hits. What happens when you get 1 million hits?
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh.
They start throwing you money.
Cha-ching.
They start singing. They gave him $240,000 to go to college, and he's like 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, what do we do?
So you know what? It sounds like the story in the Bible about Samuel, when Samuel first heard God's voice. You know, it doesn't matter how young you are. God
Right.
can speak to you, and he can give you those dreams and those visions. They may not occur until 20, 30 years from now, and they'll burn into you until they do manifest. But you're not crazy.
That's right.
You're not crazy.
You're not crazy.
And it doesn't matter how old you are either.
That's
because
true.
remember Abraham and Sarah.
That's
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
right.
They were
And
laughing, right?
And
Yes.
despite their age, God still held it another 25 years before he manifested it in the physical realm. So even though they were already too old for it to
Yes.
happen,
According to
them,
to-
right?
And them. Yeah,
And them.
she laughed. She was
They
like,
both actually laughed.
did.
They
She
both
knew all the
actually
info.
laughed.
See?
I laughed
She
too.
knew all the info. She's like, yeah, right, okay.
So yeah,
Oh
you're
my
not too
God.
young. You're
Making
not
them
too old.
bones live.
Oh my gosh!
Right.
Well, Dwayne, you know we're coming to a close on your segment, but I
Okay,
am so
okay.
excited, and I'm inviting you to come back anytime.
I would love it.
You
I
can
would love
walk
it.
in here at any time if you're in the area. Come and stop by. You know, but I'm going to be talking to you about some other things too with the program. But I want you to let us know, talk to everyone out there, and tell them, leave them with a message, and also connect with them. Tell them how they can connect with you.
All right, first of all, you have an amazing gift and talent,
Yes.
ability. Don't let anyone water it down. See, some people think that they're supposed to be the architect that designs it when they might have just been the one that imagined it.
That's true.
And now you bring it to the architect and have it turn into something real. I went through that in my life because we co-own a hair salon in Accokeek, Maryland, where we were in church, a word was spoken, and on paper I scribbled out something, presented it to the architect, and allowed the architect to now give me engineering drawings that we can now walk in our imagination.
Jesus.
You can't walk in it if you don't write it down. So I want you to do that. You can touch base with me the best way is through Facebook right now. I know a lot of people junk on Facebook, but it is a universal way so we can communicate,
Yes.
instant message and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's I am, which is declarative. I am Dwayne Ross, which is DWAYNEROSS. I am Dwayne Ross. That's Facebook. Now Twitter, Dwayne Ross 24/7.
Okay.
It ain't changing. I am him. I am he. I be him.
You be.
All right. And then let me help you on this one, because there was 9 million pages with my name on it.
Wow,
When I searched my name on the internet, when I first found out about domains. Own yourself on the
That's
internet.
right.
So somebody
This
else
is
don't
true.
own
That's
you.
right.
This is true.
I was able to get a really cool gift because me and my sister kind of thought the same way, and she has since passed. And I'm telling you guys that are out there, you're feeling sick or whatever, go to the hospital, get checked out.
Okay. Yes.
She was dealing with oxygen issues, and I didn't even know until I went to the house after the funeral. She had all these bottles. She never told anybody. But anyway, I'm empowered by her belief in me and her belief about what we were about. But here's the thing. So you can have a situation in your life that just takes all your breath away. Well, use that breath to go for a sail and go sailing. Do something with it. Okay, so the final thing is DwayneRoss.com. She gave me my name for my birthday.
Oh.
She gave me my dad after 32 years.
Yes.
And then when the internet became real famous or what have you, she said, I got something for you.
Wow.
It was a real estate agent, which is another whole story. Because
Okay.
this next Saturday, check me out on Facebook. I have a real estate investor coming from North Carolina, Dr. Elam, to teach you real estate investing 101. Because I said the cash flow quadrant. The first part
Yes.
is what?
Right.
You have a job. You go around, Monopoly, you play,
Right.
right? You just get to $200. But what do you do when you land? You have to go get something. So now is a small business. That's you owning a business, self-employed. Then you have to create a business that now makes money when you're not there.
That's right.
And then the last part is investing, which is investments.
Yes.
And he's doing that for anybody that wants to show up. You just hook me up on Facebook and I'll give you the information. We only have limited seatings because we decided not to let it be open to everybody, but only the first 25 people.
All right.
Okay.
First 25 people. So if you listen to this and you can make it to Waldorf, well, all you got to do is make it to my page and I'll give you all the info.
Okay.
All right? How much time I got? 2 seconds?
2
minutes?
seconds.
All right. Minute and a half. Minute and a half. Okay. So Cash flow quadrant. That was Dr. Robert Kiyosaki in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I don't care how you feel about him or what you think about him. The bottom line is you have to understand the principle. The Bible says this book of the law shall not depart out of my mouth, but I shall meditate on it day and night. Observe to do everything that's written therein, for then I will make my way prosperous. I shall have good success.
That's right.
That's Joshua before he went to take over the land.
Joshua
That's
1:8.
right.
He had a whole bunch of people go with him to look at it, the spies. He was the youngest one, him and Caleb. Came back. Everybody else came with a bad report. Who did God use to go into the promised land? He let 40 whole years pass, and all those people that was thinking that way, some of them got swallowed up in the ground, all kinds of different things. But the bottom line is, this book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth. You will make your way prosperous. You shall have good success. Trust God.
You know what? We're going to take a break real quick,
All
okay?
right.
Because we're going to do some talking among ourselves, and then we're going to come back and continue the program. But Mike, I know this is unexpected. If you could play Lucrae, I'm Praying for You, and then we'll come back in. We'll be right back. Oh, okay, sure. We're going to give
Thanks,
Mike a few seconds to cue that
Mike
up.
is cooling us with the mic.
Mike is the engineer extraordinaire.
Engineer extraordinaire.
He is.
Thank you so much, Mr.
He's
Mike.
the bestest engineer extraordinaire out
Love
there.
it.
The bestest,
The bestest.
engineer extraordinaire.
Mentor Me Memorable Moments is always loving up on Mike.
Absolutely the bestest.
Yes,
Engineer
he is.
extraordinaire.
He is. Okay, we'll be right back in a
All
few
right.
minutes.
Father God, I'm praying to you for somebody who knows you, Lord, but just hasn't been seeing you in the right view lately. Hear me out. Father, I'm praying for a friend, he and I are pretty close. And out of all my friends, for this one I'm concerned the most. He say he reading daily, but he ain't really learning. He been in church but say that he ain't moved by any sermon. His faith weak, he ain't prayed in a week. He wake up and just weep with his face in the sink. Lord, you gotta help my man. I'm praying for him daily. He ain't seeing, but it just seems as if he going crazy. He say he feeling trapped, can't even hit up the mall, cause every lady's half dressed tempting him to lust and fall. He keep the TV off, videos just make him feel that he ain't really nothing without money, girls, and shiny wheels. The other day he told me that he felt less a man cause he ain't have a 5-year plan or a piece of land. And man, it's crazy cause his family thinks so much of him. Plus he got a godly wife who always show a love for him. But he's struggling, even though he talk to me, I tell him what to do, but he don't listen when he ought to be. I'm scared for him cause there's people that look up to him. He got some younger siblings who've been changed by what he's done for them. But is it done for him? Lord, don't let it be. If he don't want to talk to you, then Father, hear from me. Is it done for him? Condition is worsen since we was last conversing. I'm with him now, he ain't doing well, of this I'm certain. He say he trying to trust you, doesn't want to discuss you, but he was in the midst of sinners and did not discuss you. And just today his anxiety's got the best of him. He knows Christ but for hours refused to rest in him. He's not the best of men, but Lord, I know he really loves you, and I can't understand why lately he's not thinking of you. People trust this dude, you can crush this dude. Father, he needs more of you, I pray you touch this dude. What can I say to him? I'm determined to pray for him. Father, empty and break him, I pray you'll just have your way with him, cause there's a change in him and the effects are strong. I pray you'll open up his heart before the next song, and when he gets home I pray you'll open up the 66 book love letter you wrote and soak it up, cause he ain't hearing you and he ain't feeling me, and God, I know it's killing you because it's killing me. And matter of fact, there's something else he's concealing. See, the person that I've been praying about is really me.
We are praying
righty.
for you.
Indeed.
We are.
Yes.
You know, we had to huddle because, and this is the first time this has ever been done, too, where we are going to delay a segment, William's segment, because we want to continue to speak with Dwayne and hear what he's doing and how he's blessing the community and just blessing the individuals and just what do you have planned coming up. We want to spend the rest of the segment doing this. And I think that song by Lecrae, who is a Christian rapper or rapper who turned Christian, however you want to flip it, you know. He is part of the kingdom.
Yeah.
And I'm praying for you that people have struggles out there. And whether it's us or someone else that we see the struggle and we don't know what to do to help them. But we just have to believe God that, you know, we're praying for them. I know you're praying for the community.
Oh,
I
yes.
know you are.
One of the things about the prayer is, you know, the Bible says the prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So there is something that has to come out of prayer. A lot of people, though, they pray amiss because there's also information about praying. And when you pray, you should have a directive. You should know that you've already had an intended thing that you want God to do. A lot of people pray amiss. If you know that you have an illness, you can lay hands on the sick and they shall recover, right? So therefore, don't just say, Lord, heal me. Lord, this cancer, call it by its name.
Yes.
Be uprooted out of my life and cast into the sea. Because the Bible tells you also that if you don't doubt in your mind, see, you can doubt in your heart. You can doubt and then get sidetracked. But once you doubt, if you doubt in your heart, a lot of people can doubt in their head, but this is what you do in your heart. Because
That's
remember,
right.
God doesn't look on the head. He looks on the heart.
Yes.
What do you have in your heart? So that means you need to fill your heart with faith. Okay? Without faith, it's impossible to please God. So you can't do anything without faith. You can't even breathe. You have to believe He is
Yes.
before you even believe. All right? So what am I doing? What are we doing? We're praying for you
Yes.
because we know that God intended prayer. He said that we, men, mighty men, you and I, He gave us a directive. We're supposed to be praying for the president, not backbiting
That's
on
right.
him,
That's
not
right.
talking about how terrible he made a decision and he made these decisions that the body of Christ doesn't like. We're still supposed to pray for him. That's
right.
honor. I don't call him Barack.
That's right.
You know, no, it's Mr. President. It's President Barack Obama. It's President Obama.
That's right.
We have to get back to honor. That was something that came out of a message today in reference to honor. The Bible even tells us about our young kids in the street, right? My pastor, Dr. Mike, again talked about this thing that's going on in the black community, you know, and we forget about the relationship that started it all. You can't have your sons out there disrespecting
That's right.
establishments
Authority.
Right.
and,
That's right.
and authority. You have to teach them how to respect
That's right.
where they live or get out of that neighborhood.
Right.
Now, I had a young lady, and I was teaching. It was long-term unemployment and long-term. She was on public assistance for many years, and her son was getting beat down, going back and forth home. So I asked her the question. I said, "So you want him to get shot, killed, or what
That's right.
before you move?" Oh, I can't move. We've been there for this many years. I'm on Section 8, and I get so. I said, "So you care more about Section 8 than you care about your son getting back and forth to home?"
That's right.
Right.
And it was an epiphany for her. I said, I'm not trying to make you go to work,
Right.
but I'm telling you that if you stay in this environment, it's going to consume you.
That's
Because
right.
that's what it was meant to do.
And kill him.
And he's going to get caught up and possibly killed.
Right.
So you have to give him a different vision.
Right.
The Bible says, write the vision, make it plain,
plain.
that men may run with
Run
it.
in it.
But he don't tell us to just write it on paper. He says, write it on our heart. Right? So we have to do some things. So you asked the question at the break, what is it that I'm doing in the community? First of all, I'm a director of a vocational center for people with disabilities. I work with people who, in the essence of time and what have you, the society has said are throwaway people. These are the people that have significant needs for whatever it is that they do. They need total care and things of this nature. And we don't believe, in my environment, we don't believe that we just should put them off into a home somewhere and just let them vegetate. Especially young people who happen to have a TBI, traumatic brain injury, or maybe they came through a bad pregnancy and they lost oxygen and now they have, this disability. It wasn't their fault.
Right.
So what I do is I teach the staff, and I develop the staff on how to work with this population better. I also have a program called the Impress program. You go to my website again, DwayneRoss.com, DWayneRoss.com. You will see the Impress program. That's the Inmate Pre-Release Employability Success System. I had this written by, it was myself, I wrote it for Thomas Nelson Community College in the Pennsylvania jail system. And I did a pilot program for them so that they can teach people how to move people from being incarcerated to thinking differently so they can return what they call then returning citizens.
Yes.
And I like the term that they said, return citizens. So I'm putting programs together. And right now, I'm working on a relationship with the Department of Rehabilitation here in Maryland to train their staff on the Impress program so that they can start having some better numbers when it comes to helping people leave jail and stay out.
Right.
Yes.
See, I talk to them about all the stuff that's behind the scene. Where's your girl at? Was she one of the catalysts for you getting in jail? Why are you going back to her house?
Wow.
You staying with mama and them,
Right.
and you not paying no rent, you don't have no car, and you trying to roll around with your homies, you're in cars and you don't even know if somebody got a felony. What's wrong with
That's
you?
right.
Right.
That's
You got to
right.
get yourself together, and you might have to get thee out of thine own country.
Hello.
And I will show you a place.
All right.
That's what he did with my man Abraham, right? They said,
That's
look,
right.
and he even told Lot, they said, Lot, you can't go. They was like, no, Lot's supposed to come with me. No, Lot wasn't supposed to go on that trip.
No, he wasn't.
God made some concessions.
Yes, he
Yes, he
did.
did.
He said, all right, you know what, go ahead.
Right.
Because Abraham was like, but Lord, what if this is 10?
Right.
What if 10 good people's in, you know,
Well, you
anyway,
just-
that's a whole thing.
Eventually, it came to an end, though.
Yeah, he had to
it
go.
did.
Yeah, that's it.
And then you remember out in the wilderness, he said, you know what, we're going to have to separate you so he can move forward. Sometimes you got to
right.
separate from
Yourself
certain people,
from people, yes.
including your family members.
That's right.
You can come visit at the family reunion,
Be respectful.
you know, but
Right.
just bow out for a minute and go
Right.
get
Right.
yourself together. You know, an eagle goes
Yes.
into a high crescent
High. Yeah.
and he gets himself together, gets a new beak, works out his eagle wings and stuff.
Okay.
If he get a little injured, he don't hang out with nobody. He goes somewhere by himself. But then he comes out and he knows exactly what he about to do. He about to go get him some rabbits. And I ain't saying nothing about rabbits, but that's what eagles do. The eagles do rabbits, right? People, if you don't have knowledge, you do unknowledgeable things in your community, right? If you're drug related, you do drug related
Right.
things. If you thug related, you do thug related things. You
right.
got to change your systems. So that's the employability system. So the other thing that I work with is youth. I love the fact that young people currently have this zeal for doing stuff, but the problem is they doing a lot of wrong stuff.
Yeah.
We have to put some better tools in their hand and help them identify some things early. Because see, what they see is everybody getting their stuff
Right.
at early
Okay.
ages. They see
Right.
the little, rapper getting nice cars and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
So how much time I
It's
have?
fake. Oh no, you don't
Okay,
worry about
so
the time.
all right,
I'll
you
let
help me
know.
out because I'll talk and people are like, will you be quiet and go? See, and that's another thing we're talking to that. So moms, you got kids that's jumping around on couches and stuff. Stop beating them. Find a way for them to use that power that they have to talk.
Yeah, channel that energy.
Give them something else to do. Give them another road.
Right.
Exactly.
And dads, I'm gonna tell you this: don't jump up in your little boy face like he's a man. Treat him like a boy until he's understandable what a man does. See, a real man is not gonna devalue his son. He's not. He's gonna show him how to become a better person, so he can be a better man.
Now that's interesting coming from you because earlier you said you grew up in a household without a father. How do you know this?
I know this because, see, here's the deal. My grandfather, God, if it wasn't for him, I do not know. But what I do know is my grandfather was 70-something years old, 73, 74. I mean, I've seen my grandfather all my life up until the time that he died at 91. He lived to 91, good old
Bless his
age.
heart.
But he was always working. He always had a shirt on with a tie, a little jacket, a little hat. He kept a certain way about him that I watched. Now, even though I was with my uncle afterwards, who was spitting on floors, falling asleep drunk out front the hallway and all this, I didn't allow that to become my vision. I would look at other people. I had a friend across the street named Ralphie, and his dad worked a really nice job, had real nice stuff, and I used to just think that he was my dad. I was like, that's my dad. I took on like mentorship role models in my mind that I allowed them to speak into my life. Another thing, I had a young man, an older gentleman one time. My aunt had a boyfriend, and I was about 14, I was maybe 13, and he said, boy, you want to make some money? And I said, yes, sir. He said, okay, come on with me. He had his own janitorial service. And I worked with him, and he would clean bars in the morning, because bars are pretty much closed in the morning because they've been open all night.
Right.
And he was telling me, this is what you do. This is how you do. So he kept speaking into my life. And then he had friends, and I came across this other gentleman who was a brain surgeon, who was putting he wanted to do a walkway to his boat. And he needed some guys to move some wood. And I volunteered to go do the wood. And after I'm doing it, he's sitting down and he's telling me about these different things, about his son and how now his son is off, married, is in heaven. So I'm thinking, like, these are real cool people.
Yes.
Right.
So what God did was he put people in my pathway.
Yes.
But I didn't understand the value of who those people were till later on in my life. But I went through a really bad divorce. I told you I went through a divorce.
Right.
Part of that was not seeing my kids every day, because I had swore I'd never be my father.
Right.
And everything I did was to struggle to stay connected to them,
Yes.
even though she was in the position of, we need to move on with our lives. I got a new man. He's their father now, like that kind of stuff. And it was years that I had to fight. So I started doing workshops on fathers outside the house.
Yeah, I
How
saw
can
that.
you stay connected to your kids?
That's right.
Right.
Now, my oldest son came to live with me at 16 years old. This was what mama did. Dwayne, your son is getting on my nerve. He's on the plane. I was like, I thought she was joking.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
He showed up.
Oh.
Now, he shows up, and at that moment, I had to decide all the stuff I had to do. Get him into school, enroll him, get his shots, get his immunization, all that stuff. I did everything. I'm at work, and I get a phone call from the school. Your son is not in school today. I'm in Richmond, Virginia. We're in Hampton. I get on the phone. I'm like call his mom, call people, and I'm panicking at the moment. And then he calls me. Dad, I'm at the airport. What? Yeah, I called my mom. I told her I want to go back home.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't talk to my son for 2 years because his mom and him felt that was a better situation for him
Wow.
to go back to that life. So I have this passion to help
Yes.
men who are outside of the home, who are fathers, understand the difference between being a father, being a dad, and being a daddy. Because see, my kids now call me daddy all the time. I love my daughter, 19 years old, in college for the second year, and she still gets on the phone, hey, daddy.
Right.
And it reminds me.
Did you all do a book together?
Yes. She was 3 years old, looking out the window. It was our first time here in Maryland. And she looked out the window and she goes, Daddy, how come the trees don't have no jackets on? Now, she grew up in California, so every tree had some green on it. Here's these trees with no green on it. What's the deal? Daddy, got to get a tree jacket for the tree. It's going to freeze. And I was like, oh. So I asked her questions, and the bottom line, it created a book. So that's what I have also coming up. We have a writer's workshop coming up in February. It's probably, right now we're working on the location. I'm working with Divine Concept Group. They're also on Facebook. You can check them out. That's for Eric Award. And this will be my second year working with them with the Writers Workshop. And we show you from nuts to bolts how to take your story from your heart to your to the paper and then get it to the publisher.
Perfect.
Okay, we have about a minute left, so let's kind of wrap this up. I want to give you an invitation, and this is something that we haven't done ever on this program, but because you have a heart cry and a heart throb like we do, and you beat for the community like
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have a heartbeat, we want you to come and join us. And we're going to figure out all the particulars, but we definitely see you as a part of
That'd be
MentorMe
great.
Memorable Moments.
That'd be great.
Awesome. I'd welcome the opportunity, and this is just, it's grace.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It's the
it
grace
is.
of God.
It's
And so,
appointed. I believe God is about to do something awesome, because I've been meeting people all week, William, all week. People who are in position where they have overseen funding and programs and grants, and want to write grants for us to go into the communities.
One of the things about school system, real quick, employment for school age kids. The employment rate for teenagers is terrible in America.
Yes.
But and I'm in Maryland, so Maryland DMV is still pretty much close. One of the things they don't know is how to discover their talent.
Yes, that
We need
is
a
true.
grant for discovery so we can go in to teach the teachers and teachers aid how to pull that stuff out of these kids so they can spend time doing what they really are built to do versus let me look at the want ads and things of that nature.
Gosh. Yeah.
So we have a
Okay.
lot of work to do.
We
so
do.
I really, really think
we do. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about crowdfunding in one of our sessions as well. But we have wrapped up our social health session and we thank you for joining us.
Yes,
we're
indeed.
going to be here with Dr. Michelle next week. And last month we talked about perception reframing,
Right.
that stuff that gets us unstuck. And so I had my perception reframing session. I'm going to share the results of that. Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's serious. It's true. It's real. It will work, and that's going to be part of
Fantastic.
MentorMe drug testing services, as well as all the things that we do in the community with MentorMe memorable moments. You're going to love this. You are. And so until then, we've got a week between that session. We want you to be safe, be smart, and be healthy. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I wear my clothes like this because I can. And I wear my hair like this because I can. And I walk around like this because I can. And I do my thing like this because it's who I am. And if you're expecting me to give you an apology for being nothing that you're used to, go right ahead and wait. Hold your breath and concentrate. Keep holding till your face turn blue. My road ain't your road, but just I know just where I'm going. My flow ain't your flow, but just I know just how I'm flowing. I'ma do my thing. Please feel free to hate and complain. Said I'ma do my thing. Say what you want, but this one ain't gonna change. Said I'ma do my thing. I can't wear my clothes like you because I'm not. I can't do my hair like you because I'm not. I can't walk around like you because I'm not. I can't do my thing like you, well it just ain't hot. And if you're expecting me to give you an apology for being nothing like you used to, but go right on and head away. Hold your breath and concentrate. Keep holding till your face turns blue. See my road, it ain't your road, but trust I know just where I'm going. In my flow, it ain't your flow, but trust I know just how I'm flowing. I'ma do my thing. So please feel free to hate and complain. I'ma do my thing. And say what you like, 'cause this one ain't gonna change. I'ma do my thing. You don't know where I'm going, and so you think I'm lost. I ain't on your page, okay? So to you that means I'm off. When I dance to the beat of a drummer you don't hear and you dance see. So if I look off beat to you, well the problem must be you, not me. Irregular and never